Honor and a privilege to be here today. Today, we are all checking in for our Women's Empowerment event. We are today having such an exciting event. It is such an honor and privilege to be here. My name is Ariel Asher, and I'm filling in today for the fabulous Rebecca Hall Grider. It was Rebecca who brought us all together in this amazing book, Experts and Influencers, the Women's Empowerment Edition. Now, today I have the good fortune to introduce the authors, or some of the authors, from this amazing book. Like, if you don't have your hands on a hard copy of this book, you're going to want to. I have mine all marked up with all the fabulous chapters. Like, this is really an amazing, amazing compilation. So if you at home have a copy, follow along. We're going to go in the order that the authors are in the book, and I'll let you know what page their chapter starts on. We have some videos prepared. The authors are going to come on and they are going to introduce their chapter to you so that you can know what to expect when you get your copy. My first author that's up today is Tina Dowdy, and I can't wait to see what she has to say. Her chapter is called Claiming Your Self-Worth, a Rite of Passage. It's such a powerful title. Now let's lean in and see what she has to say.
Hi, everyone. I'm Tina Dowdy, and I am so honored to be part of this project and to be the author of the first chapter in the Experts and Influencers Women's Empowerment book. Thank you, Rebecca Hall Grider, for including me in this beautiful project. My chapter title is called Claiming Your Self-Worth, a Rite of Passage. And I think it's a great chapter if you are a woman who wants to feel more confident and comfortable in your own skin, in your body, and on earth, and to be able to make decisions without constantly second-guessing yourself. And if you want to achieve more meaningful progress and purpose in your life. And if all you really want is to add more value and meaning to the lifestyle you're living right now, then this is totally the chapter for you. And I wrote it because I clearly saw myself through the stories and through the eyes of my own clients through the years. And I don't think that's a coincidence. So the chapter is my own real life version of that age-old story of what keeps women playing small instead of playing full out. And so my intention for you is to ignite that spark in your beautiful heart so that you can embody your worth and so that you can feel ready, willing, and able to be the creator of your universe. My intention for you is also to be super self-compassionate and to be super self-aware. And so the book includes some tips on and inspiration on getting yourself out of feeling stuck, out of perfectionism and imposter syndrome, and to stop comparing yourself with others. And instead start opening your heart to all those resourceful ways and possibilities that exist out there and that are available to you, so that you can start getting a crystal clear direction of your life, of where you want to be in your life or in your business. And so the story is about taking those essential small steps towards your winning story. And so I think one of the biggest things I hope the chapter gives you is a glimpse of all the different personas and beliefs that exist deep inside of all of us that can work for you or against you. And that we weren't born knowing how to embody those character traits of our inner goddess. But the potential for those character traits to grow into those traits are very real. And so my hope for you is to accept yourself as you are and where you are. And I'd like to share a short paragraph from my chapter that speaks to that point. And it goes like this. Even when you follow all the rules, good intentions will go really bad when the voice of your inner goddess is being muted. After all, she is your fearless leader that enforces you to learn the elemental laws of success. She is the part of you that summons the courage to be authentic, vulnerable, and rooted in your core values so that every decision you make comes from that space of self-realization. It was time for me to open my heart to her. And now I hope it's time for you to open your heart to your inner goddess too. We were meant to be a work in progress, and part of being in progress is being fully aware of your value. And so what inspired me most about being part of this project is pretty much knowing that we all as women have in some way experienced the anxiety and the exhaustion of life challenges, the heartbreaks, the griefs, the guilts, the resentments, the shame, all of it, all those things that sabotage our health, our relationships, and our finances. And so I wanted to share some tips and some my own story for women who simply want to grow gracefully into any role that you play as a woman. Because I believe that women who are confident of their worth are the ones who do create a positive impact for their families and for the world. So if you're looking to find more purpose in your life, then I would invite you to go ahead to my website at tinadowdy.com and lean into that pull inside of you to see about all the gifts and tools I can support you with on your journey. And if you know in your heart that you're ready to create that shift, then feel free to contact me and let's keep in touch. Have a great day.
Oh my gosh, that was amazing. Are you guys listening along? What is keeping you playing small? And are you embodying your divine goddess? Oh my gosh, you're going to want to read that chapter. It's just amazing. Thank you so much for that, Tina. We really, really appreciate it. I know. Let's draw one of our experts and influencers cards. These are so amazing as well. I'm a huge Oracle fan. So let's draw a card to celebrate Tina's chapter. I drew, it says, "Today matters. Choose to spend it purposefully." Aha! Guess who that's from? It's from none other than one of our fearless leaders, Rebecca Hall Greider. So these amazing wisdom cards go with our chapters and serve as more inspiration for the readers and serve as more inspiration for our audience if you'd like to get some of those for yourself. Now, let's move along in our book as we go along. The next chapter, the second chapter that we're going to feature today, is by Paula Arezzi. Paula, are you here with me today? I don't know if we have Paula in the on the live feed here.
Yeah, I am.
Oh my gosh, there you are. This is so fun. Paula, it's great to see you in person.
Yeah, good to be here.
Great. And Paula, I would love for you to tell us the name of your chapter.
Yeah, so the name of my chapter is Be a Change Agent, and I also have a message that goes alongside of it as well. So definitely looking forward to just expanding that message out there and just hoping that someone could take that perspective change and start going.
Awesome. I love empowered leaders. Okay, we have your tape now, so Maria's going to roll that for us, Paula. Let's all take a look.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Paula Arezi, and I am one of the co-authors for the Experts and Influencers series, Women's Empowerment. So excited and super excited that you all are leaning in and understanding that everyone has a life story. And let me tell you, the ladies in this book, or the co-authors in the book, I should say, they express themselves in ways that are just beautifully well written, where I'm sure it can connect to many readers around the world. Because sometimes, when you pick up that one book or that one chapter and you're like, oh my goodness, I feel like it's reading my life. That's what I felt when I read this book. And I definitely want to let you know that I'm excited about what you're going to be gaining, especially from my chapter. My title is Be a Change Agent. I'm going to read that again. Be a Change Agent. Lots to unpack in that, but I wanted to let you know that the reason why I participated in this project is because I believe that when we collectively tell our stories, there's a realness to it. There's a opportunity for others to feel, wow, there's multiple backgrounds here represented in this book. It's going to help people to feel more connected. And so I participated because I love supporting others, and I love that we get to collaborate and produce this book to be able to help other people, readers like you, to be able to discover your purpose, to discover your calling, to discover what you are meant to do in this earth, and also to connect it with motivation, to connect with faith and love and everything else that this book represents from each of the authors. So I wanted to dive in and just read a short excerpt from my chapter. Again, it's titled Be a Change Agent. So here is a short little snippet of what you're going to get. I want to let you know that my chapter is all about practical things that you can be doing to start discovering what your calling is and what your purpose is. But sometimes we can't start there. We got to start as to the why. We got to start as to the background, the foundation. So I kind of go into that in the chapter, and then I also share my personal story, because hey, what else? Other ways you're going to connect with an author if they don't share their personal story. So I want to read a short excerpt. My life's motto is to be a change agent in everything I do. The good thing about life is that you have each day to regroup and focus on the mission of living life to the fullest. Jokingly, I would say, I don't do normal. The meaning of this is that I do not see life as being ordered and normal. Instead, I see life as an adventure filled with plots and twists that feels like a crazy ride at a theme park. So readers, I just want to stop there and just let you know you're going to have to be able to read the rest of the chapter and of course the book, because that will kind of give you a little glimpse as to why I titled it the way I titled it. I also want to let you know that it's good when you are able to really take something out of this and really provide yourself with some time to let it digest. Let what you're reading from this book to digest in your soul and your spirit, because then you're going to be able to produce some kind of action to be able to have some results. And that's what I'm hoping that this chapter will do for you, is be able to give you practical steps for you to take charge and understand that you are not a mistake. You're here for a reason. And it is time to get about your business. It is time to be that change agent that you were meant to be. So I want to leave you with some lasting words. Okay. Well, I should say questions so that you can leave with. So what about you? What is your life's motto? What will you commit to doing today to be a change agent? Again, thank you so much for leaning in. I look forward to connecting with you all. And again, this is Paula Arezi. I will see you soon.
Wow, Paula. Wow. What are you willing to do today? I love that power. That woman's got some fire behind that voice. All right. I want to draw a card for you, Paula. Can I do that?
So excited. Thank you.
Have you got any of these cards yet?
I did, but I have to read them all because I'm I have to soak it in when I read them. It's just so good.
I'm just playing with them today for fun because we have them here and we're together. I would love, okay, I'm going to draw one for you. The one I got for Oh, it's another one from Rebecca. I think that's so special because, she really is here with us today, whether she's here with us today or not. She is our fearless leader. We're so grateful for her. And you're going to love this, Paula. Your message says it's your time to shine.
Oh, my word.
Yes, girlfriend, you are on fire. You are so much on fire. I am really liking everything that you're doing, and it is so fun watching you. And I am so blessed to be part of this book project with you.
Likewise. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, it's so exciting. All right, everybody. So we're going to keep our party moving and go on to our next author now. The next up in the book is Michelle Calloway. Michelle, it's amazing to be here with you. It's so great to see you. I think you're muted. We can't mute the goddess. Don't mute the divine goddess within. Tina Dowdy taught me that. So.
I'm here. I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
Oh, it is wonderful to be here with you today. I'm so excited to about your chapter and about this whole project. Can you tell the audience? I mean, I know I've got my book here, but can you tell the audience what your chapter is entitled?
It's called Becoming Extraordinary, Living Your Life with Purpose.
Oh, wow. So powerful. Each and every one that just lands so powerfully. I think we have a little bit of tape that you to roll. So I'm going to let Maria roll that and let us watch that. And I'm just going to take a little chill backstage for a moment, and we're going to watch a little film, and then I'll come back with you in just a moment, Michelle.
Thanks. Hi there, my name is Michelle Calloway, and I am the CEO of Revelio. It is an innovative software and media solutions company, and I'm also the founder of a nonprofit called Tech with Heart, where we're all about empowering businesses to be successful in a rapidly changing digital era. And the reason why I leaned in and wrote a chapter in the Experts and Influencers Women's Edition is because I believe so much that each and every single one of us has a purpose. Like many of us have felt a nudging that we know we're meant for more, and perhaps we just have never had the faith or the maybe fears holding us back from stepping into living our life with purpose. And so my chapter is actually called Becoming Extraordinary, Living Life with Purpose. And becoming extraordinary doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be like the most successful female in all history for whatever industry you're going to step into, or whatever, how many people you end up leading. That is not what makes you extraordinary. Simply stepping into your calling, your purpose, meaning every single one of us has a purpose here in life. In fact, Oprah has a quote. I'm going to read it to you. I believe there is a calling for all of us. I know that every human being has value and purpose. The real work of our lives is to become aware and awakened to answer that call. That is a direct quote from Oprah Winfrey. And I believe so much in that too. You see, I know women struggle a lot with not feeling valued, not feeling worthy, not feeling that they are enough. And so that holds them back a lot of times because they don't think that they can accomplish anything that's too scary for them, or they just don't know where to start. So my chapter is all about sharing my story. You know, I used to be so incredibly shy. I had such an inferiority complex that I couldn't, for the life of me, accept a compliment. I just didn't believe that that was a person's true intention, that he must be playing a trick on me or something. But over time and through the help of loved ones, I've been able to implement a change within my own mindset and overcome a lot of my own inferiority issues, and also how to learn how to work and be among people and accept the challenge that has been laid before me. So there's different things that you'll learn by reading my chapter called Becoming Extraordinary, Living Life with Purpose. One is that it's good for you to acknowledge that you were indeed born for a purpose. Two, open your heart and discover what your purpose is. Be open to it. And then third, stand firm and in your faith. So I'm a faith-based entrepreneur. So you need to stand firm in whatever faith you have and whatever your mission is and whatever your purpose is. So ultimately, it's about purpose, passion, and perseverance. 4, stand confident in who you are called to be. Again, that does not mean you have to, if you're being called to step out of your comfort zone and to perhaps lead in some way, it doesn't mean that your success is based upon how many people follow you or how much money you make or how popular you get. That is not what it's about. It's about the process of becoming extraordinary. That is where the real quality change takes place. And 5, level up. Hang out with people who challenge you to continually improve yourself and who are where you would like to be. Hang out with those types of people and you will continually level up in your life and you will grow as a quality human being and as a leader. And then 6, bring your passion and energy into whatever it is that you choose to do. You have to have passion. That passion is what's going to drive you and provide that perseverance. And then 7, don't ever give up. Don't ever, ever, ever give up. It will be hard. Stepping into a leadership role, it's hard. And it's lonely. That's why it's so important to make sure you surround yourself with people who inspire you to continue to push you. And remember that you were indeed called for a purpose. So don't ever give up. There's no saying no going back. Once you say, yes, you're in all in, because it is the rest of your life. Sometimes you don't get to fully understand why you were called to something, but you know that there's a reason that this is your purpose and you just fulfill it. Don't look back. And then be all in all the time and you will experience your best, most extraordinary life. So that's what I hope to provide as far as encouragement and inspiration in my chapter called Becoming Extraordinary, Living Life with Purpose. Again, my name is Michelle Calloway. You can learn more about me and what I'm doing as far as leading in the technology community and media community by going to revealio.com, or you can learn about our nonprofit, which is a heart-centered, forward-thinking entrepreneurial group called Tech with Heart. And you can see all that we're doing there by going to techwithheartnetwork.com. So thank you so much, and I do hope that you embrace your calling and step into living your life with purpose.
Wow. Michelle, you never disappoint. How powerful. I can't believe that you were shy.
I know.
I love it. But I think that it's good for people to hear that, right? So that they know that it's not an impossibility. I also am a little bit shy at heart. I identify as an introvert and people always think I'm a big, huge personality. Michelle, I love all that you're up to. I also wanted to mention to the audience, because we just have this fabulous opportunity about this book. Can you just explain in a nanosecond what the Revealio technology is that our book has been augmented with this augmented reality? Can you give our audience a little snippet about what that is?
Sure. So augmented reality is a cousin to virtual reality, and what it essentially does in the sense of authors can utilize this to connect with their readers in a fresh, edgy, really disruptive way, and then 2, they can actually share a snippet of why people would want to buy and look in and lean in and purchase the book or whatnot. And all I have right now, I don't have the book with me, Ariel, and so I don't
have it set up. I just got excited because I saw you.
The concept is something physical like a book. This is my dad. He passed away, so we did this legacy card for him. And so what we did is make it so that if somebody wanted to kind of learn a little bit more about my dad, they could just hold up their phone using our free app, and it'll come alive with my dad's story.
Whoosh, it makes
So it's
magic.
actually, the music is at, I turned my volume down because I didn't want anybody to interrupt our interview here. But the concept is that you can make a book cover come alive. And what we do with our experts and influencers is that all of the speakers get a chance to kind of get on stage with Rebecca and share, and she shares why we wrote this book, because we want to impact people. And we're just adding another level of impact with the augmented reality experience. And then people can click on that and go follow us on Facebook. And it's a great connector. It's a wow factor, and it's a message connection.
I just think it's such an amazing tool, and you know I'm a huge fan, and I just wanted to bring it up real quick because I'm a tech geek like that. So I just wanted to bring it up, and it's absolutely magical. So I really encourage the audience to go, and you'll see in the front of the book, it explains it, how you can download the app and everything. It's really great. So thank you so much, Michelle, for coming on. Your chapter is amazing, and you're just such a powerful leader. Thank you so much for all you do.
I'm honored. I'm delighted. I just hope that it inspires somebody to take that step of faith, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, everybody. Next up, we have Mary. And Mary Knipple is one of the authors in our book. You'll find her chapter on page 47. Is Mary with us here today? If she is, Maria can probably put her on the screen with me. Oh, maybe she's not here. Well, we do have some tape from Mary. Mary's absolutely beautiful chapter is entitled The Grace of Unexpected Gifts. It's really beautiful, isn't it? I think that we have some tape, so let's go ahead and roll that. Oh, we still have to get some sound going on there. No problem, just a little bit of technical difficulties, it looks like. While we're waiting for Mary's tape, let's go ahead and draw one of our experts and influencers wisdom cards. Let's see. This one says, embrace the wisdom of unexpected gifts. Embrace life experiences which arrive wrapped in fear and frustration, tied up with compassion and grace. And you're not going to believe this. This card was actually written by Mary herself. These unexpected gifts. I couldn't have planned that, Mary. I drew your card. And if Maria has our tape ready, we'll go ahead and roll that on Mary's beautiful chapter now.
Hi, I'm Mary Knipple, the writer unleashed and the founder of YourWritingMentor.com. I'm thrilled to be here today talking to you about why I wanted to be part of the Experts and Influencers Women's Empowerment Edition. Really, it's in the title, Women's Empowerment. My mission is to help women unleash their voices and to share their unique stories with the world so that they have an impact on those they are meant to have an impact on. My chapter is entitled The Grace of Unexpected Gifts. And I'm not talking about some little tchotchke from Amazon, a gift card. I'm talking about those everyday things that happen that we just, oh, that's coincidence. It could happen to anyone. We could lose our keys. We could forget to buy milk. But what about those life-altering gifts in the form of a form letter saying, call the doctor's office, which leads to not one, but 2 breast cancer episodes. Or your husband loses his job and he finds a great one, but it's 3 states away from your family and friends. Or you're going to be a grandma. You're over the moon excited. The baby is born 3 weeks early, but she's great. And when the baby is 8 days old, your healthy 35-year-old daughter has a stroke. And it leaves her paralyzed on the left side so that she's unable to care for that precious bundle the way she wants to. So I'm talking about the unexpected gifts that the universe delivers, and then how we show up and shine, how we cope, how we are the hero in our own story and not just the supporting player in somebody else's. It's what we do to step into our story, how we are creative and how we adapt and cope and live life large, unleashing the beauty of what we've learned and move on. I wanted to leave you with a little bit of what I wrote. Every single circumstance that has happened to us, for us, to us, by us, have led us to this moment right now. It has led you to picking up this particular volume and choosing this passage to stop and read. All of us who search for the answers of who we are and what is this purpose of this blessed life. I write these words for you. I write them for me. I write them for all of us. I'm Mary Knipple, the Writer Unleashed and the founder of YourWritingMentor.com, sharing with you about Experts and Influencers, the Women's Empowerment Edition. My chapter is The Grace of Unexpected Gifts. Thank you.
The Grace of Unexpected Gifts. Thank you, Mary. That was just beautiful. It's really good to check in around those things. And Mary's chapter is so amazingly powerful. I really appreciate it. Because we have the time, let's draw another card. Okay. Oh, another one from our fearless leader, Rebecca Hall Grider. This one says, bloom where you are planted and shine. That's wonderful. I'll show it to the camera there. Bloom where you are planted and shine. Which leads us to our next author. And our next author, oh my goodness, it's yours truly. It's me, Ariel Asher. My chapter is called Suffering Till Suffrage. And we have a video that Maria is going to roll for us here. Let's take a look. Yes, I in fact did write my chapter in the Experts and Influencers book based on the song, based on my memory of a conversation that I had with my grandmother after listening to the song Suffering Till Suffrage, which was a schoolhouse rock song that I absolutely adored when I was a child. It was so awesome. And the context of the song is super timely because this is 2020, and in 1920, women finally earned the right to vote. That's what my grandmother told me. And a lot of women had to work really hard to make that happen. And my chapter is about how, as a child, when I was raised in the context of feeling supported and self-expressed in my particular household, it was hard for me to believe that in the world it existed, that girls were not thought of as equal. But I'd love to share some of what I wrote in my chapter. I wrote, Grandma was right. We still had a long way to go, and long after her passing, we still do. But why is it that we live in a world where women need so desperately to be empowered? And the fact of the matter is that we do. The fact of the matter is that women make up half the population on the planet, but are not represented in leadership and as prominently as their male counterparts, and still don't make equal wages in the workplace. What? Like, I can't believe that's even a thing, right? So that we still have a lot we can work on. And although at times it seems that we're on the brink of war and environmental destruction. Wow, I didn't even know about COVID-19 when I wrote this. It's interesting. There's a really fantastic opportunity for more women to step up, to speak up, and to be in roles of leadership. Our voices and our presence have never before been more needed in order to bring the world back into balance, right? So we need that feminine energy. And we really need women to step up and to offer a different perspective and a different way of doing things, and to lead in a way that's more heart-centered and self-aware and environmentally aware. I give some action steps in my chapter, and if anybody wants that, just reach out. I have a PDF file that I can send you of those action steps of how to do that. And really what I want to say is not only just read my chapter, but raise your voice. Figure out what you stand for, and don't be afraid to share that. We really need your voice. We need fresh perspectives right now. We need women leaders, and we need to be empowered. So that's what I want to say. I hope you take the time to go listen to Suffering Till Suffrage, and you'll understand why it inspired me so much, that particular moment and the retelling of that tale. That lesson that my grandmother taught me, and also get published. You know, it's time for the world to hear your voice. It's time for the world to hear your perspective and your story. And yeah, definitely, this is your time. So that's my sharing. I really hope you enjoy the book, and I hope you enjoy my chapter. Thanks a lot, everybody. So there it is, my share on my chapter. And you can lean into that chapter on page 55 of our hard copy book here. It's my honor and privilege. Rebecca inspired me to start writing, and it seems that so many of the things that I bring forward, this was actually my third project with Rebecca, are connected to my grandmother. It really, my grandmother really loves to come through in all of that. So that's amazing. All right, one of my dear friends is our next author up. She's absolutely wonderful. She is none other than the fabulous Monica Sawyer. How are you, your blissful self? Monica, it's so wonderful to be here today with you.
It is so good to be here. I'm so honored. And Ariel, thank you for hosting this. You're doing such a great job in really bringing out what's so beautiful in this book with each of the chapters. So what a pleasure to be here.
Oh, thank you. It's my pleasure. It was unexpected, but hopefully I am rising to the occasion. I really appreciate the opportunity. Great. I appreciate the opportunity. Monica, tell us, what is the title of your fabulous chapter in Experts and Influencers, the Women's Empowerment Edition?
It is called You Can Always Choose Bliss.
You can always choose bliss. I think we have a little tape, so let's go gossip backstage for just a moment, and we'll let the audience see your tape.
Sounds Hi, I'm Monica Sawyer with blissfulinvestor.com, and I am so honored to be one of the authors in the new anthology, Experts and Influencers Women's Empowerment Edition. I'd like to start our conversation today by reading you a little bit out of my chapter. The doctor smeared the cold gel on my abdomen and moved the wand over and back, over and back. I lay there, looking up at the white ceiling and the fluorescent lights. I have been on 3 months of complete bed rest, so I was all too familiar with lying down. I was feeling really good about this pregnancy. Everything was aligned, everything felt right. I had given myself until I turned 42 to have a child. That birthday was just months away. This was it. The doctor removed the wand and readjusted the position of the monitor. She put the wand back on my stomach and moved it around again. She had a strained, tight look on her face. Doctor? She removed the wand and looked at me. I think we lost the heartbeat. What? There's no heartbeat. I'm very sorry. It didn't register. This was my 14th pregnancy. Each one had ended in a miscarriage at the end of the first trimester. Oh, that must be so hard for you to tell people, was all I could say. The doctor left the room. I just sat there. I sat there at the end of the examination table in that sterile white room, shocked with my dead baby on the screen. I started to cry, and then I couldn't cry at all. I walked out of this medical center, got into my car, and then it came. I sat there in the parking lot and sobbed. As I sat there in the car, it's like I was crying out all of my hopes and my dreams out of my tears, out of my body. I sobbed for hours. And then I went home and I slept for days. It had been 4 years of trying to get pregnant, of trying to have a baby. And what a journey it had been. And here we were at the end. On the third day, after spending the time honoring my feelings and honoring the loss, which I think we all need to do, you know, those feelings are there for a reason. And when we experience loss, we have a right to honor that loss. What we also have a right to do is to choose who we're going to be on the other side of tragedy, on the other side of circumstances. I didn't get to choose whether I was able to hold on to those babies or not. I got to choose if I was going to try. I also got to choose how I was going to respond on the other side of this. And this is really what life is about for us. And it's the true power that we all have, is that right to choose. I could have chosen to continue to cry. I could have chosen to start to identify myself as a woman that just couldn't have children. I could have chosen to identify myself as a woman that wasn't a real woman, right? How many of us have heard this? We put so much of our identity in something, whether it's having children or it's having a career or it's being married. We put so much of our identity based on the things that are outside of us. And most of the time, we just don't have any control over what's outside of us. But what we do have control over is how we choose to respond. And how we choose to respond can then define us. We choose how we're defined. Nobody else defines us. You define yourself. Nobody else does. So after those 3 days, I chose that I was going to be a woman who tried, wasn't able to do it, and it was time to move on with my life. That wasn't easy. Making choices often aren't easy, but it was decisive. It was right for me. And that's the thing. We have to know who we are in spite of what everybody else out there is expecting us to be or telling us to be or who we think we should be. We should know who we are, learn who we are, and then choose to make and create a life that is aligned with that truth of who we are. That's true empowerment, in my view, to live a life based on who we are and on the choices we allow ourselves to make. So many times I've thought, I don't want this to define me. It's a part of my history. It's a part of my learning. It was certainly a part of my path. But it's not who I am. I am not a woman that couldn't have children. I'm just Monica. And as Monica, I get to stand in my power. I get to be the woman who I want to be, live the life I want to live, and make the choices that make me feel the most powerful, most joyful, and most blissful. I hope that through reading this chapter, you discover for yourself that you have choice. You have the choice of how you choose to respond in any given situation. You have a choice of who you want to be in the world. And you have a choice of how you just define yourself. I hope that this chapter inspires you to define yourself in a way that will bring you true bliss in your life. Thanks so much for sharing this time with me today. Take care. Bye.
That was absolutely beautiful. Monique, are you still here with us? Oh, honey, every time I hear that story, it's so wonderful that you are telling that story and bringing it forward, because it's those depths that bring us the bliss, right? And you embody your work with such integrity and grace, I must say. So everybody's going to want to lean in and get that chapter. I know you're a fellow dog mom like myself, and so we have lots of interaction on that level. But Monica, just thank you so much for the powerful work that you bring forward for all women. And thank you for your story. I know so many people are going to resonate with that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for being on today.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to add for our listeners today?
It's funny to look back now on that story, because it feels like it was a different person's story. And it just expresses how far we can come by the choices that we make. So I just want to leave everybody with one little quote, and that is that bliss is your birthright. So choose to live your bliss every single day.
Bliss is your birthright. Thank you so much, Monica. Can I draw a card for you real quick?
Let's do
it again. I have to have cards every single time. Okay. Oh, this one is from Faith James. This one says, remember that you are fearfully and wonderfully made.
I love that.
Yeah, you are. You're ferocious, Monica. We love you. Thank you so much for being here. And I'm very excited to bring my next guest on. Today, we also have the fabulous Elle Ballard in the house. I think she's on with us. Is she here with us? Let's see, Maria, do we have... maybe she isn't here right now. I know that we have tape, so let's go ahead and we'll roll tape. And if Elle is with us, we'll have her comment afterwards. Oh, there we go. Here's some tape.
My name is Elle Ballard, and I'm one of the co-authors of the Women Empowerment Edition book, Experts and Influencers. I am absolutely grateful and thankful and honored to be featured as one of the co-authors in the book. And I'm thankful to Rebecca for guiding us, for leading us, and really making this such an amazing edition, such an amazing book. Very excited for you to read it, to check it out. My chapter is titled Your Authentic Voice is Your Internal Compass. And I was giving example of stories from my personal life, my personal stories, how I experienced the voice inside of me and how I got used to listening to it, follow it, implement on it, and the importance of that. It is so important for us to be able to recognize that voice out of all the noises that we get, right? And to be able to know what it is that you want and to be able to implement on it. I also talk about the importance of self-care in the chapter. I think it's so important, and it's not only what we eat, it is also who we surround ourselves with, what we listen to, who we communicate with, people, places that we surround ourselves with. And it is so important to be aware of that environment, to reduce on some of the unneeded distractions and maybe increase on some of the needed positive interruptions in our lives. And it's, of course, it's everything from, you know, the morning routines that we do, right? The eating what we eat, what we read, how we think. And this is such a core concept, and that's what I mentioned in the chapter as well. And I am also the founder of Women of the World Network, and that is exactly the reason why I wanted to create this community to unite women, to empower women, and to empower each other to follow our unique strengths, desires, dreams. Because I think as women, we tend to forget ourselves. We are very big nurturers. We're amazing creatures. We take care of everybody, our kids, our parents at some point in our lives, right? Our family, our friends. But in the midst of all of that, we tend to forget about ourselves. And I know I experienced that, and I wrote about that in my chapter, why I had to change something in my life, because that was not working at a time. So I had to change some things in order to come back to who I truly am, who I truly wanted to continue to be. And that's why I'm so passionate about reminding women of that, or strengthening that voice inside, right? Empowering each other. But I'm excited for this book. It's an amazing book and absolutely powerful stories of beautiful, empowering ladies and in the book. And I cannot for you to read it. I cannot wait for you to read it, to check it out, and I'm looking forward for your feedback. And life's changed as well. I'm looking forward for you to read it and check it out. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Elle. That was wonderful. You can find Elle's amazing chapter on page 87 of our book, Experts and Influencers, the Women's Empowerment Edition that we're talking about today. And before I bring my next guest on, let's draw another card. I think this is my favorite part. Okay. Be an even though. Nevertheless, be an even though, nevertheless woman. Faith, I'm getting all of your cards today. We're going to have Faith on in just a moment. But until then, let's bring on the amazing Diana Miret with her chapter. Hi, Diana. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you? Can you hear me okay?
Oh, I can.
Awesome.
It's so great to see you. I've read your chapter and I don't think that we've ever had a chance to talk. So here we are doing it in front of all these people. It's wonderful to meet you face to face.
Thank you.
I think we have a little bit of tape to roll for you. Would you hang out with me while we watch your tape?
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Maria, can you please roll Diana's tape?
Hi, my name is Diana Moret, and I am be a part of Influencers Women's Empowerment Edition series of books. I was so thrilled to be a part of this anthology. They had me at the word empowerment. Why? Because there was a time in my life where I didn't feel empowered. And one thing I learned from that journey is that you have to empower yourself. You can't wait around for someone to empower you. That's how we get into trouble. So the chapter title that I chose was Trust Yourself to Manage Your Money. Yeah, I'm talking about financial empowerment. Do you know that 61% of women would rather talk about death than money with their best friend? And 2/3 of women who seek financial planning help from a professional are doing it in a moment of crisis, not a moment of planning. Either someone has passed or they're going through a divorce, but for some reason they have not paid attention to their financial future until a moment of crisis. That's why I wrote the chapter, because that happened to me. I'd love to share this moment of crisis. And the reason why is not to air dirty laundry, but that women would know they're not alone and that there are steps they can take to feel financially empowered, because you're not fully empowered until you're empowered over your money. So I'd like to take a moment and read from my story and share with you just the first bit of it. I hope it serves. The title again is Trust Yourself to Manage Your Money. My name's Diana Moret. You are not fully empowered until you empower yourself over your money. Some of us are forced to jump off the cliff of financial empowerment, ready or not. On a sunny day in a glass high-rise downtown, our marriage of 22 years was picked apart and separated into piles of she gets this and he gets that, terms and conditions, obligations and settlements, and animosity. Our lawyers gleefully picked apart the cadaver of our marriage as their $345 an hour rate climbed into the 5 figures. It was painful and embarrassing. Our private lives had turned into fodder for discussion between 2 lawyers who didn't know us and really didn't care. The most painful part for me was looking at my soon-to-be ex-husband seething with rage and anger and glaring at me from across the table. Men learn early how to be warriors. The schools teach them how to be on a team and fight for victory. And some parents even buy little boys toy weapons and they play soldier happily amongst the living room pillows. Most learn how to defend themselves, both in the schoolyard and in the boardroom. And movies and books are filled with scenes of men taking on giants, corporate giants, and bullies, and fighting for their territory. And my soon-to-be ex-husband was a warrior and had experience in digging a trench and fighting. I, on the other hand, was completely outgunned and outmanned. Pun intended. I had hired the expensive lawyer because I needed to level the playing field, and I knew I was way out of my league. Spoiler alert, the story ends very happily, but the message is still very clear. We as women need to empower ourselves over our money, no matter how much of it there is. We need to be empowered over our money. Thank you so much for joining me today, and have a great day.
Wow. Wow. What a story. Yes. Yes. I love the spoiler alert as well. I like that it all worked out great, which of course it did, because look at you. You're fantastic.
Oh,
Do you
thank
have
you.
anything you want to share with the audience?
Yeah, I've been speaking to women all over, Southwest Florida, Southeast Florida, and this story is not unique. I really do see this often, and more than I'd really care to see it. I feel bad for my sisters who they think they're being smart by outsourcing their financials to someone else, whether it's a husband or a brother or even a financial advisor. They just outsource, and that's okay to get advice, but you got to be in control of your money. I have to say, I don't know if I mentioned it in the spoiler alert, but after 3 years of being apart, my husband and I reunited, and and we remarried. I guess what I tell people is that it took us a little while to grow up. But anyway, but my point is this, and this is the spoiler alert, I guess, is that in spite of the fact that we remarried, and I remarried this gentleman who's a financial genius, I still manage my own money to this day. Obviously, we consult and we talk, and there's full transparency between us. Otherwise, what's the point? But we totally manage our own money now. And so I practice what I'm saying in this book. I practice what I preach. In fact, last night I was talking to my broker about my assets. So I really encourage everyone on this call and who's reading the book to please don't wait until it's a bad moment to take control of your money. I don't care how much there is or isn't. Find out what your net worth is and start building your own plan.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I know that our friend Monica is back there. She's also back there supporting you, and we are all just in so much awe of the wonderful. There she is. Yeah, our blissful investor and everybody all together. Isn't it wonderful? There are some powerful, powerful women in this book. Speaking of which, I don't have a tape for her, but I do have the fabulous Faith James on the line with us as well. Could we get her on? Can we patch her through? Faith, how are you? It's amazing to see you. Oh my gosh, it's amazing to see you.
Thank you.
I would love, can you tell us a little bit about your chapter since you're here today? We don't have your tape, so.
Absolutely. No, it's my joy, my pleasure. And thank you all for doing this. Everybody who's, behind the scenes supporting Ariel to get this done. It's just so important to get these, what I say, just really super thoughtful and inspired books and chapters really out to the audience. So yes, so thank you all so much for the support. So my chapter in the book is entitled Faith Plus Action Equals Empowered. So much like what Diana said, if it had anything to do with empowerment and anything to do with women, I would be at the front of the line, because that is my jam. That is my sweet spot. That is where I do the most good. And I always want to come from a place of truth and integrity. And so, and certainly transparency, in which case I told my story about how I, and certainly wasn't always this way, but certainly as I, grew up and learned to really lead into my faith. So faith being my name, but also my belief, my faith in the Lord, as a means of being the anchor to my empowerment. So in the chapter, it's really all about using women from the Bible, giving examples of women who really lean into faith, some willingly, some sort of reluctantly. Like, so the story about, Sarah, Abraham's wife, who when, God said, you're going to have, this child and you're going to be the mother of nations, right? The mother of nations. And she laughed. And then, the story goes on to show, of course, when she got to her faith space and believed in that, look at, all of the people and all the nations who have come through that. So I use different examples from the Bible to sort of relay that truth. But I want to just give a little bit in terms of what my chapter was about. And many people don't know this, but I tell the story that when I was born into trauma. Trauma to the degree that my mother actually wished I died when I was being born. And that was because she was having such a challenging and tumultuous and dysfunctionally abusive relationship with my dad. And she found herself in this space where rather than fight anymore, she just was like, I just don't want to have this child with this man. And so she wished that I died. And so as I was born, 6.5 pounds, she noticed that I was having difficulty breathing, and she, called for the nurse, and the nurse rushed in, and they took me right away to the NICU because I'd stopped breathing. And she said she heard so very clearly God say to her, "Didn't you tell me you wanted the baby to die?" And she said she just, with everything that she had, she pled for my life. She bargained for my life with God and said, "Please, dear God, let my baby live, let my baby live." So that's why I was given the name Faith, because literally it took everything that she had. She had to have faith in knowing that God was good and merciful and was going to change his mind, and it let me live. So when we think about our life, we think about our business. For me, the way I have grown and expanded my my reach, sort of enlarging the place of my territory, has always just been by leaning into the Word of God and being very faithful and leaning in my faith. And when my card, which I'm so excited that like 2 of my cards got picked, like what are the odds? Being so grounded in faith, even though your business look like, it's in shadows, it's not doing anything. Nevertheless, you're going to take the next right step, the next best step, and believe that when God says, I have plans, know the plans that I have for you are to prosper you and to give you a future and a hope, that is the truth. That if you just anchor yourself in the Word, but then also the action part is so important, you have to take the steps. Whether they're big or small, do a little thing here and there, and you will actually really, really start to have your own empowerment because it's coming from God Almighty himself. So that was just such a great opportunity for me to share that personal story. I know, religion can sometimes be sort of like a no-go territory, but I have to stand in my truth. I have to stand very firmly in when people ask me, well, how are you doing what you're doing? How is it that you have this global branding agency? And I said, me and God are a majority. And I lean into my faith, but I also take inspired action. So I'm just so grateful. I'm hoping that the chapter lands with every single person who reads it, and that you can really look at that and to know that somebody who's come from trauma where your own mother prayed for your death can still come through, even though nevertheless, even though I was supposed to be dead. Nevertheless, here I am making an impact in the world. So I'm just so grateful to Rebecca and the team. I'm grateful to everybody. I'm grateful to all of the other women who have been such an amazing support on the journey. It's just been beyond. I mean, when you can pull together a group of women who are so powerful in their own right, but then come together in such a loving place and being so supportive, it's truly magic. And I just count myself blessed to be among those. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for everybody listening. Thank you for everybody who's going to be listening to the replay. From my heart, I hope the book serves you well.
Oh, Faith, it's such a wonderful story. Thank you so much for sharing that with us today. I absolutely love it. You're such a gem. And I know that your book will land so powerfully with so very many people. Okay, just because it's a break again, I'm going to draw another card just to see, Faith, if I get your card again. Would it be uncanny? No, it's our fearless leader, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. Okay. You are an important part of the beautiful and diverse garden of life. Be willing to fully show up, add your bloom to the garden and shine. Add your bloom to the garden and shine. There are some eloquent women in this powerful project. I love it. Faith, it's been amazing to spend this time with you. Thank you so much for coming on. And listeners, I just want you all to know that you can still get your copy of Experts and Influencers, the Women's Empowerment Edition, and you can get yourself these fabulous cards. Set yourself up, because this is like it's like a journey into empowerment, isn't it? This book is like a journey into empowerment. And this isn't even all of the authors. Not all of the women could make it with us today. I'm Ariel Asher, filling in for Rebecca Hall Gruyter, our fearless leader. And you guys really, we owe a huge thank you to Maria Cooper of Above and Beyond Productions, who is running the show in the background, making us all look fabulous and making sure that everything happens on time. So I just want to leave everybody with one last sentiment. I want you to remember that you matter. And like so many of the messages that you have heard today echo, it's your time. Okay. And if you need a little help, I know a place where you can get a load of it. There's so much wisdom. And the authors that have come together in this book compiled by Rebecca Hall Gruyter, are really doing a service for everyone. So get your copy, get some wisdom cards to go along with it. We have a journal so you can record your wisdom cards on a daily basis. And you can just lean in and really empower yourself. Okay, I think that's all for me. They're gonna give me the hook. Maria's gonna pull me right off the screen here in a moment if I don't sign off. So I just want to say, Rebecca, we are all with you, and we know you had a family emergency today, and we hope that we have made you proud, and that we have brought forth your book that we have all collaborated in elegantly and concisely. Thank you, Maria, once again for all of our tech support. And thank you, our listeners, for leaning in and really being open to empower yourself. Thanks, everybody.